We will now sing our opening hymn for the month of December, number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple." "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We are grateful to gather on this beautiful morning, both in person and online, for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection. Whether you join us today with joy in your hearts, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm Reverend Diana Smith, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Society. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a somewhat tall white woman in my mid-40s with short, curly white and brown hair, blue-green glasses, and a blue stole made by our partner congregation in Transylvania or Romania, standing in the pulpit in the front of our sanctuary. Our sanctuary and the adjoining commons are filling more and more each moment with people of all ages, which is delightful. And through our window walls of the sanctuary, we connect with the natural world, where it is a beautiful, relatively clear winter day where we find ourselves on this solstice day, where we greet one of the shortest days of the year and the rebirth of the sun. We find ourselves a third of the way through today's daylight. What a wonder that is. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who've cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk and the Meskwaki and the Oceti-Sakowin nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together and work together to create a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support one another. We're guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. And this morning, as we celebrate the ways the winter solstice invites us to pause, we will celebrate some of the ways we respect the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part, and explore how this helps us live our value of generosity, cultivating a spirit of gratitude and hope. If doing something with your hands during our worship services helps you, we invite you to visit our soul work table or cart outside the sanctuary doors and pick up something to work with. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to talk with a greeter in the atrium after the service. And if you're online, we hope you'll fill out our visitor form in the YouTube show notes so we can connect with you. And now, Bridget will share our call to worship.
Hello, my name is Bridget Laflin. I am the Ministerial Intern here at UUS. I am a short, fat, white woman with dark brown hair, and I'm wearing a greenish, bluish, dark teal dress. I use she, her pronouns. Our call to worship this morning is called Celebrating the Darkness by Joe Von Rue. Traditionally, Advent is a time of searching for light in the dark. The pagan tradition of Yule is a celebration of the return of the sun. But darkness is as important as light. The cold dark of winter is as important to life as the bright warmth of summer. Darkness is home to entire ecosystems, places where humans cannot survive. Darkness offers us the gift of rest, healing, and hope. It is in the darkness of sleep that our bodies are able to heal and rejuvenate. Darkness offers opportunities for beauty and love to live in our lives. Conception begins in the dark womb. A great prophet was born at night. And the vastness of the universe can only be seen on the darkest of nights. So on this longest of nights, let us welcome the night. Let us give thanks for the life, rest, healing, hope, love, and beauty that are offered to us only in the darkness. Come, beautiful souls, and let us worship as we embrace the darkness together.
Our opening hymn for this morning is number 389, Gathered Here. We will sing it once, first, all the way through, and then we will sing it in a round. If you're welcome to join me in the round, and the singers will help us out with that. Please rise in body or in spirit. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit
I'm Alan Swanson, today's worship associate. An old, tall, blonde Swede with glasses, mostly wearing black, as I mostly do, except for this brown watch band. Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame with a chalice, within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary, safety, and hope, to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Chrissy lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant with mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and our service is our prayer. To dwell in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. Each week we light a candle for justice and healing to acknowledge the interdependence with our natural world and with the members of the global community, especially the most vulnerable. We light the candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the ongoing shootings in our nation's schools, but also other senseless killings, one by one, across our country. Let's reach out, each in our own ways, to those left behind in lasting pain. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps to lift up prayers. Got it.
Our story today is called Winter's Gifts, an Indigenous celebration of nature. And I'm going to sit here and show my copy to any of our friends who want to sit close. Hi. But there will be slides up on the screen for all of you out there. That's beautiful. So this is Winter's Gifts by Caitlin, Curtis, and Gloria Felix. This story is about a girl named Donnie. Donnie is the Potawatomi word used to describe affection toward a beloved or special daughter. So Donnie represents not just the special love we share with our human families, but also our special status as the beloved children of Creator and of Earth, who was made by Creator to be our mother. I hope you enjoy getting to know Donnie in these pages. Donnie touches a frost-covered branch on the oak tree in her yard. She shivers. Winter, or Baban, is coming in a few days. Her family will light a fire, or shkode, and think about the darkest night of the year. Many of her friends are afraid of the dark, but not Donnie. The dark feels like a hug, and winter is a time for cozy hugs. The dark of winter reminds us to rest. Even the bears rest in winter. Yeah. Inside, the wood stove glows. Donnie cuddles up next to her brother, Bo, and by their dog, Sam. She thinks about hugs and good days and what it means to wait. Do you guys have pets that you cuddle with? Yeah, me too. The next day, there is more snow on the ground. After school, Donnie comes home and makes snowballs to throw at her brother. By dinner time, it is already dark. How long does the darkness last? Donnie asks her parents. Her dad answers, the dark will be here for a while, but with the sun's birthday, the winter solstice comes, the days slowly get longer again. That is one of winter's gifts. Donnie thinks about the gifts of winter. They are different from the gifts that come during the holidays. Winter's gifts are telling stories and waiting. Another gift of winter is resting, like the bears. After we rest for a while, the sun brings back the grass, the flowers, and the leaves on the trees. Donnie remembers that Creator made the sun, or Jesus, to be our grandfather, and the moon, Jesus, to be our grandmother. They work together like partners to help us understand Earth and the seasons. Danny knows that the Earth is very special. Creator gave her to us to be our mother and to provide us with the things we need to live. On the first day of winter, Donnie wakes up excited. At school, Donnie and her classmates study the moon's phases. Donnie loves Grandmother Moon and is grateful to Creator for the gifts of darkness and light. That evening, Donnie and her family light candles to honor the beginning of winter, the sun's birthday. They eat lots of food and talk about why they love Mother Earth, or Sigimikwe, and Creator so much. They also talk about their ancestors who celebrated the changing seasons. The next day at school, Donnie tells her friends about the winter celebration. They laugh and say it's strange to celebrate the winter. Donnie tells them about the gifts of rest and waiting, and they say the earth doesn't give gifts. Danny walks away confused. At home, Donnie sits beneath her favorite oak tree where she built a fort. She talks to the trees and touches the snow. She thanks them for their gifts and hopes that one day her friends will understand. That night, Donnie tells her parents how sad she is that her friends don't believe in Mother Earth's gifts. Her mom says, sometimes we forget that we are all friends with Earth and every living creature. The winter teaches us to rest, to remember, and to be thankful. Your thankfulness is your gift to Mother Earth, Donnie. That night, she dreams she is gathered with her friends in a big circle around a giant tree, linking arms and singing. As they sing, the animals come to join them. They sing to Grandfather Sun until he sets, and then they sing to Grandmother Moon as she dances into the sky. The next morning, Donnie thanks Creator for the dream, whispering, "Miigwech mamago-san." She gets dressed and runs outside to her favorite oak tree. Leaves dance in the wind and snow falls off the branches onto her head, and Donnie laughs. Her friends from school come and ask if she would like to go sledding with them. Afterward, they come back to Donnie's house for hot cocoa. Donnie can't decide if she should show them her tree. Will they laugh? Then she remembers what her parents told her. She is proud to be friends with Mother Earth. "Would you like to see my favorite tree?" she asks them. Her friends follow her outside. How did you build this fort?" they ask. "The tree is amazing," they say. And Donnie wonders if she should tell them about her dream. She is nervous, but she remembers what it felt like to sing with all her friends and the animals. She takes a deep breath. A few of her friends giggle and say they need to go home, but two of her friends ask to hear the song from the dream. Donnie closes her eyes and begins to sing. As she finishes her song, it begins to snow. They all run back inside for more cocoa. "Tell us about winter's gifts," Donnie's friends say. Donnie tells them about waiting for spring, about grandfather sun and grandmother moon, and about rest. Her friends smile, and Danny smiles too. The end. Each week when they head to classes, our children light a lantern as a symbol of the love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith. Children, youth, and teachers, please come forward as Dara lights our lantern from our chalice. Let's all join in singing "Be Open" as children, youth, and teachers head to religious education. The words are on the screen.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye,
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. As we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and sorrows of our congregation. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of all life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone, just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. For those who would like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a compassionate connection circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's worship service. These circles, which happen on the second and fourth Sundays, are opportunities to share with and support each other in our lives' journeys. If you're participating in our service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you're in the sanctuary and feel called to do so, please come forward and take a stone from the basket and place your stone in the water as we sing together.
I invite you deeper into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. As we do, we join our hearts and minds together in a time of meditation and prayer, spoken, silent, musical, and shared. This is a precious time, and all precious times want preparation. So if it is comfortable for your body, I invite you to settle yourself in an upright, seated posture, both feet grounded on the floor, to take a deep breath, holding it until you notice your need to breathe out, and relax. I invite you to close your eyes, for vision is the single most energy-intensive activity of our brains. These are the days of the winter solstice, a time when those who are very attentive to the skies note that the sun which has relentlessly moved southward on the horizon since last June, seems to pause on its journey before beginning to climb, oh so gradually, northwards to center again. Solstice is a time of pause, so pause. Breathe. Relax. Rest. Be at peace. Spirit of winter rest, help us to enjoy your peace in this quiet, restful place. Remind us to pause during this season. Grant us awareness. Keep our gratitude fresh each day. May the songs in our hearts be blessings and insights to us and to others. And may compassion always shine forth from the depths of our hearts. Amen. Blessed be.
This is from Winter Meditation by Tess Bomberger. Something has changed in me this winter. In the past, I focused on how long winter is, how miserable I find it, and how it seems so interminable. This winter, I find myself thinking instead that every day, every hour, every minute brings us just that much closer to spring. We all experience wintry times when things seem harsh and frozen or muffled by layered shrouds of snow. It's helpful to remember that each day that dawns bleakly, each night that wraps its cold cloak around our hearts, brings us closer to that time of warmth and vibrant sun. It is perhaps helpful to consider that turning toward spring is an active thing. The earth, which seems so stable, in fact, flies quickly through space on its path that tilts us ever towards the source. So, too, each memory we lay to rest, each truth in ourselves that we encounter and accept, each wrong act that we forgive, ushers us on toward our renewal.
Good morning, folks. Yesterday was solstice, so there are only 2 days of shopping until Christmas and Hanukkah. How you doing? Have you decked the hall, baked the cookies, bought the presents, wrapped the presents, attended the parties, done the white elephant and the secret Santa? Have you opened the advent calendar, put your elf on the shelf, mulled the wine, spiced the cider, roasted the chestnuts? Have you bought matching pajamas, hung the stockings, sung the carols, gotten pictures with Santa, put up the lights, trimmed the tree, written the annual letter, mailed the cards, watched the holiday specials, coordinated travel, cleaned for guests, bought the groceries, and prepared the holiday meal? I'm stressed out just reading that list. Every year, we hear messages about slowing down this time of year. about how holidays aren't all about gift giving and fancy parties. We are told that the most important things about this time of year are peace on earth, goodwill toward men, spending time with loved ones, and for some, even reflecting on the sacred. But the most powerful messages seem to come from other places. From ads, Hallmark movies, social media, family expectations, and the pressures we put on ourselves to make sure the season is magical. Now, I can't pretend that the message today that I'm going to give will be more powerful than the targeted online advertising algorithms. I don't have that kind of a budget. And I don't have the desire to manipulate you like that. But I can share a message with you today that I hope will be meaningful and maybe remind you a little bit about who you are and why you are special. Last night was Winter Solstice. This is the time in the Northern Hemisphere when we receive the least amount of daylight and the longest time of darkness. Beginning today, the daylight hours will be slightly longer and the hours of darkness will slowly become shorter. For people who closely observe the sun, the solstice is a time when the sun appears to pause in the sky before it changes direction. This pause in the sun's movement and the return of the light has been celebrated by humans much longer than any other religious holiday of the winter season. Winter, a time where darkness reigns over the light, is a time when much of nature takes a pause. Plants put energy into maintaining their core strength rather than growing. Seeds, bulbs, and roots wait in the earth until the sun returns to provide enough warmth and light for them to grow again. Most animals are also less active in the winter. Some hibernate, others come out only for short periods. Many species don't reproduce in the winter, since it is difficult for their offspring to survive the cold. Some animals migrate to warmer climates, and humans also used to slow down during winter. We took our cue from the sun. We took a pause. We needed to survive off the stores of food and fuel that we had put away during the summer and autumn. Existence depended on conserving energy and supplies, and exposure to the elements could be very dangerous, so activity was necessarily limited. But with advancements in technology, medicine, and industry, humans have become less and less reliant on traditional ways of surviving the winter. We developed electric heat and lights, vehicles that could transport us safely, and obtaining enough food was no longer necessarily tied to the weather cycles. With each new innovation, we separate ourselves a bit more from the Earth's rhythms. Today, even if we're snowed in at home, many of us can continue working from home remotely. We don't even get snow days anymore. In true human fashion, most of us have turned this season that was once a time for rest into a time filled with even more activity than we experience at other times of the year. Now, it seems like we have lost the knowledge of our ancestors, those lessons learned from Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon, as Donnie called them in the story. Instead, we attempt to maintain maximum productivity all year round. This often comes at a detriment to our health, our relationships, and our happiness. Most of us have been indoctrinated with the idea that work is the most important thing in our lives. We don't say that out loud. When we're asked what the most important things in our lives are, we say our family, or our health, or friends. But when we're observed, it's obvious, it's clear that for most people, earning money and doing well at work is more important than those other things that we say are most important. Because that is where we put our time and energy. In our society, most people are in debt. Most employed, able-bodied people work more than 40 hours a week, either working long hours at one job or holding down multiple jobs. If we have hobbies, we're encouraged to monetize them. You know, you could sell that on Etsy, which turns even our forms of relaxation into a job. People who are lucky enough to be able to retire are often unhappy because they don't know what to do with themselves without the work that has consumed their lives for so long. There is a stigma to being unemployed, which can cause guilt that often leads to severe depression. There is a stigma to being disabled and unable to keep up with the ridiculous expectation that all bodies should be able to do the same amount of work. People with disabilities are often not given jobs because they can't do a job as efficiently as a person without disabilities. So they are not given an opportunity to contribute at all. There is a pervasive idea in our capitalist society that people who produce less are worth less than people who produce more. That concept directly contradicts our Unitarian Universalist principle that all people have inherent worth and dignity. It is inherent. Your production levels don't make you more worthy of dignity. Your education doesn't make you more worthy of love or respect. Being housed or unhoused has no bearing on your worth. Being incarcerated does not mean that you have less value than other people. We believe that all life is important. All life is sacred. And all people are worthy of love and respect. The hard part is that means you are too. It means that you can rest when you want to, not when you need to, because when you need to, it's already too late. You are not less deserving if you pause. You are not less worthy if you take care of yourself. You are not less deserving if you take time for yourself and your family. If you are privileged enough to have vacation days and sick leave, use it. If your contract is for a certain number of hours a week and you find yourself working more than that, figure out how to set boundaries and say no to excess work. It is okay to be happier now. It is okay to be healthier now. You do not have to wait until you've either quit or worked yourself sick and applied for FMLA or short-term disability to use that time off. If you are not privileged enough to have a job that pays sick leave or paid vacation, and you find yourself having to work to exhaustion just to pay the bills, or you can't work for whatever reason, try to take advantage of whatever benefits there are out there. And trust me, I know there are not nearly enough. But as much as you can, utilize SNAP benefits, WIC benefits, food banks, Medicaid, free lunch programs, family care and support services, shelter services, energy assistance, health and wellness programs, and whatever else you can find. Don't feel bad about asking for help from whatever sources are available to you. Your inability to make ends meet does not make you a bad person. You should not feel guilty. Our society is set up to make many people fail. You are enough, just as you are. It is not you that's flawed. It's our capitalist oligarchical system that is the problem. As Tricia Hersey, the founder of NAP Ministry, says, we have been brainwashed by this system to believe these things about rest, about our bodies, about our worth. This violent culture that wants to see us working 24 hours a day, that doesn't view us as a human being, but instead views our divine bodies as machines. So how do we deprogram ourselves from this brainwashing? It's not easy, but here are a few things you could do. First, get enough sleep. The CDC have named sleep deprivation as a public health crisis. When we sleep, our body releases a chemical that affects our brain and helps it process trauma. When we don't sleep enough, our brains don't get enough rest and can't heal from big or small traumas. Getting enough sleep is also critical for creative thought and memory retention. And it's not just our brains that need sleep. When we aren't sleeping enough, our organs don't have a chance to regenerate from the daily stresses we put on them, and our immune systems weaken, so we get sick. And it's not just a cold or a temporary illness, but also more pervasive long-term problems. It's been shown in studies that high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and some mental health conditions can all be linked back to sleep deprivation. Second, spend time in your body in ways that are not productive. Do things that you enjoy. Have fun. Walk the dog, hug a tree, take a dance class, go swimming, sit on the bench and watch birds or people, take a bike ride, play board games or cards, spend time in nature, play tag or have a tea party with your kids, set jigsaw puzzles, join a softball team, or start a pickup basketball game, read some fun books, reconnect with friends and family, do whatever feels good in your body and what refreshes your spirit. Third, create things. Now this gets tricky because, as I mentioned before, our creative pursuits can turn into work if you're not careful. But there are all kinds of creative outlets you can try. Draw, paint, build Lego, knit, crochet, sculpt, 3D print things. I don't know how that works, but I know people do it. Grow a garden, decorate your living space, bake, cook, write poetry or a novel or that screenplay. Try woodworking or forging metal. Learn an instrument, write a song, learn glass blowing, or anything else you can think of. Just make something. You don't have to be good at it. It doesn't have to be something you can sell. It doesn't even have to be something that you show anyone else. If you aren't happy with the result, that's okay. If you didn't finish it, that's fine. You can regard this one as a practice or a learning experience, or you can move on and try something completely different. The point is that you are creating, building, and using your mind and body and spirit in ways that make you happy. And lastly, take some time out every day to pause and notice your life. Take some deep breaths, connect with how your body is feeling, notice what's going through your mind, and remember to practice gratitude. This can be done as a regular daily meditation practice, or just a few moments periodically throughout the day. It doesn't have to be a major endeavor. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just give it a try. And give yourself all the grace in the world, because you deserve it. At this time of winter solstice, as grandfather sun pauses in the sky, let's follow his example. Let's take a pause and consciously choose to live more restfully. Let's set aside the unnecessary, take time to renew ourselves, and remember there are times to work and there are times to rest, and both are important. Don't forget, you are a divine being. You deserve happiness, peace, and yes, plenty of rest. And nothing you or anyone else can do can ever take that worthiness from you. Treat yourself accordingly. May it be so.
How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, and our resources is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Today's donations will go to the Community Common Fund, a financial assistance program that was created by the Consultation of Religious Communities, CRC, a local network of faith communities, including UUS, who believe in the dignity of all persons and share a concern for the quality of life as well and the well-being of individuals and families in Johnson County. The Common Fund provides emergency assistance to those who are facing crisis situations. In the sanctuary, the ushers will collect the offering. All cash contributions go directly to the Community Common Fund. You can follow the instructions on the screen to give online. If you're writing a check, please use the memo line to designate the purpose. In addition to assisting to our community partner, you may contribute towards your pledge or make a gift to support our operating expenses. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. That was beautiful. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after the service, we gather in the fellowship hall and outside for conversation and community. If you're a newcomer, we hope you'll grab a snack and then sit down at a table so folks can join you in some conversation. For those who would like to share their joys and sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a compassionate connection circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's service.
Our closing hymn for today is number 72, Has Summer Come Now Dawning? Please rise in body or in spirit. Has summer come now dawning amidst the winter snows? And shall we nest the tiny birds within the pine trees' boughs? And shall we nest the tiny birds within the pine trees' boughs? Already now the candles have blossomed on the tree to light the longest winter night for us to see. To light the longest winter night for all of us to see. The old one now made youthful, just like a child at play. The bending back now straightened, so in our hearts we pray. The bending back now straightened, so in our hearts we pray. In all our hearts is kindled a hearth fire so sublime. Would that this Yuletide spirit be with us for all time. Would that this Yuletide spirit be with us for all time.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
These words are from Becca Reynolds. May love permeate your every heartbeat. May faith guide your every step. May truth and compassion be your eternal traveling companions. And may a deep abiding joy, a deep abiding spirit rest joyfully in your every waking wish and your every resting dream. Go in peace.